Laughing Brook. Poetry for sensual consciousness. Between a rock and a hard place, there the stream of life flows, all none the less. Before we part. Now, isn't that a thing? The things we gained and then lost, like coins in a crack, like tooth on a stone. Come easy, come hard, comes the time we must part. And the dream has been dreamt, the experience had, leaves us happy, disturbed, wiser, or sad. And isn't it a thing that it happened at all? Right hand samsara, left hand nirvana, one ever flowing, one ever still. So cherish the moment while it still lasts. A room full of memories at the back of your heart. A matter of the heart. We tend to underestimate the power of the heart. I certainly can say that I focused way too much on my mind for way too long in my life. The long path that led me out of this prison of my head began curiously with a loss, a crisis. Back then, I lost my job in a power struggle. My marriage was falling apart. I went into burnout and depression. Even my faith was falling apart. I was broke, without a job and without perspective. This was a very difficult moment in my life in which everything seemed to go down the drain, and for some stretches I wasn't even sure whether I had enough strength to be able and make it. Good therapists helped me to chart those difficult years, but for the most part, I had to deal with it myself, for I am the one who is closest to my pain, my fear, my desperation, and whatever else comes along on the ghost train of life. Crisis is life's challenge for us to learn, to choose, and to invariably show our colors. Of course, and thank God for that, it is not the only way to learn and to become more expansive as a being. Life sends us joy, love, grace, lucky coincidences, serendipity, intuition, able companions, teachers, graceful situations, and many more things to help us along the way. I most certainly had a good helping of all of those also along the way. And neither my life as I live it now, nor this podcast would exist without them. So, what's got all of this to do with the heart? My heart is the sum of my experiences. You may prefer to use another term for this most inner core of yourself, perhaps. But this is the term that has been used for thousands of years by humans all over the world. It's even in the Bible, in the Old Testament. The heart is the seat in which we sit. It is who we are at the core of our being. It is our true colors. It is also deeply connected with that which has been named karma. I was impressed by the definition of karma I found in Christopher D. Wallace's very commendable book, Tantra Illuminated. Rather than framing karma as guilt or destiny, which is how it is frequently understood, it is better seen as a logical result of who we are. That is, who we are in our heart of hearts. If, for example, I am a greedy person, greed, which is a form of fear, will taint the way I see the world, just like a pair of sunglasses taints what I see. This fear in my heart will skew the way I see the world around me. It will make me act in certain ways, which will produce certain resonance and reactions of the world around me. My life will be determined by greed as a consequence. This is what is meant by karma, the consequence of what I emanate. If I change this inner condition by what is so aptly called a change of heart, and hence my outlook, and thus in the consequence, the way I act will change. I will cease to pursue paths that lead me away from freedom and happiness. Then karma is done with. Of course, there are some footnotes to this, but as a general outlook, it is that simple. One way to look at how the heart is being shaped is to look at experiences. My experiences define who I am. They form the core of what characterizes the I, that which I generally consider to be me. Of course, I'm much more, but that will only be realized by grace in Satori moments. A Satori moment is when the divine touches me, or when I have let go of myself enough to be able to see a deeper truth about me and everything. But for this episode, let's focus on the heart. So, it's really all about how I position myself in these events and phases that life brings me. It's about what is in my heart. Being in a present awareness in life allows me to not simply respond to what comes at me, but to choose how I want to respond. If you're interested to hear more about this, listen to the episode called The Pearl. With this awareness, I go back to my heart, in which intuition lives, and my connectedness with everything and everyone. As I begin to listen to what is going on inside of me, in my heart that is, this listening will eventually show me even more of myself and the nature of the world. As I observe myself, I may over time discover that I am no longer fully identified with my inner emotions. There's something like an inner room that affords me to look at my inner emotions without being swept away by them. This affords me to become more free in my responses, because, for example, I might choose not to act out my anger or any other impulse, but rather internally take note of it and maybe for a change do something I normally wouldn't do, maybe never have been able to do. This change of heart will change my path, and hence it will change my karma. And this is indeed a path to freedom. Isn't that a thing? The things we gained and then lost? Like coins in a crack? Like tooth on a stone? Come easy, come hard. Comes the time we must part. And the dream has been dreamt. The experience had leaves us happy, disturbed, wiser. Or sad. And isn't it a thing that it happened at all? Right hand samsara. Left hand nirvana. Eternal stillness. One ever flowing, one ever still. So cherish the moment, cherish the moment, cherish the moment. So cherish the moment while it still lasts. A room full of memories at the back of your heart. Well now, before we part, there's a little treat if you would like to. Normally I don't speak about how and when a poem has been conceived, but for this one I want to share with the class. This poem came during a stay on the beautiful island of La Gomera, one of the Canaries. It's a place I've visited many times and I love it dearly for many reasons. One being the stunningly gorgeous nature there. Near the town of Valle Gran Rey, there's a waterfall which is just as amazing as the winding path that leads to it. And hiking up to that waterfall, I was pondering about things in my life I have lost. I was with some of the pain connected to those losses, and suddenly was deeply touched by realizing how life, as in the beauty that was all around me as I walked, just keeps inviting me to go on and open up to what is there, rather than to hang on to what's gone. When I reached the waterfall, I had one of those moments where I knew it was time to grab my notebook, and that's when today's poem came flowing through my pen like the water was flowing all around me. If you want to get a little glimpse of the beauty, check out this episode's page on my website, laughingbrook.net, where you'll find pictures and a little video. Enjoy! My name is Laughing Brook. I'm a poet, dancer, mystic, nature coach and man whisperer. As always, please leave a rating. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and recommend this podcast to whoever you feel like they might like it. Maybe even send a message or a link right now. And thank you for listening. Keep on flowing, bumping and jumping with the stream of life.